Jen here with a YA book review for you of Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is the first book I have read by her, but I liked it so much that I plan on looking her up tonight and maybe gathering some of the other things that she's written. I bought this thinking it was a standalone, but it's not. I don't know if the series is going to be called Truly Devious. That's the impression that I have. Actually, I want to see if there's any information on when the next book comes out. The cover's this beautiful like indigo color. So let's just jump in. So lately I've been wanting to read more mysteries, and this has kind of evolved. I'm not exactly sure how, actually, because I don't really enjoy contemporary, but there has to be like something more to it. There has to be a contemporary with a magical element or a contemporary with a mystery, and that seems to be what I've been gravitating towards. If you enjoyed Jane Unlimited, I think that you would probably enjoy this book. If you like The Westing Game, or if you've ever read the middle grade series Chasing Vermeer, I think it's called, you would probably like this as well. If you're into conspiracy theories, I also think you would like this. So the story follows the Ellingham family, and it kind of, well, sort of, it goes back and forth. So there's two plot lines that you're following. There is the kidnapping of the wife and daughter of Albert Ellingham, who opens a school called Ellingham Academy. The point of the school is that it's free for students to attend. At the time that he opens it, it's kind of invitation only, and he's looking for the best and the brightest to come to this school. And it's a creative school where students, like, there's very few classes that are assigned. Most of the classes are driven based on the students' interests, like if they're an actor or an inventor or a writer or whatever, and that's how the curriculum is geared. And it's like a boarding school in the mountains in Vermont. And Albert Ellingham is very eccentric. He's very into puzzles and making learning fun, and thinks everything is a game. So the story alternates between that, which is like 1935, 1936, and the present, where we have Stevie Bell, who is our protagonist, and she loves like true crime, and she somehow gets accepted into the school because now they don't have an application. You just like write why you want to go there, and they make selections based on that. And so she, in the present, like on a whim applies and gets accepted, and she's like, I don't even know how I got here. She kind of has imposter syndrome a little bit. So basically she goes to the school and says, like, I want to come here because I'm obsessed with this case and I want to solve it. It's a cold case, because it's been like over 70 years has passed. And so she gets accepted into the school, and it's the first time she's away from home. And as she's putting these pieces together, other things in the present day that kind of start happening. Truly Devious, or someone acting as truly devious, appears again. And the way the words truly devious came from the letter that was given to or sent to Albert Ellingham when his wife and daughter, before they were kidnapped, was signed truly, comma, devious. Excuse me. So basically, that's the gist of the story. It's just really interesting. I found myself reading huge chunks at a time. One night I even read like 130 pages because, I mean, there are stopping points, but I just wanted to keep going. There's a couple of riddles throughout. You don't find the answers by the end, which is kind of like, the only reason it's an issue for me is because I don't know when the next book's coming out, and I think I might know the answer to the riddle, but like by the time the next book comes out, maybe I'll have forgotten unless I go write it down somewhere, and then where am I going to stick it with this book maybe? I don't know. Essentially there's a lot of plot lines open at the end of the book. It actually ends with "to be continued," like literally the words are on the page. And I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, I wish I had the next book right now. This is something I totally want to binge read. And I love the setting, especially if you were to like read this book in the fall or reading it in the winter. The setting just seems really like a cozy murder mystery, you know? There's a lot of social commentary in here, modern day and past. There's actually a scene, and if you thought so too, let me know in the comments if you've read this, or let me know if you read it, if you caught on. There's a scene where the person suspected of, this isn't really a spoiler, the person suspected of the kidnappings of Albert Ellingham's daughter and wife is going to be sentenced to death, and for the crimes, although there's a lot of suspicion that like he didn't really do it, we don't know for sure, but this is as good as it gets kind of accusations. And they bring him around the front of the jailhouse for his execution instead of the back, and somebody steps forward and shoots him and he dies, which right away my brain is like, oh, JFK, Lee Harvey Oswald, and like Jack Ruby, like that's exactly the same kind of thing. So I'm wondering if, you know, if Maureen Johnson is pulling these little bits and pieces from history. Also, the way the Academy is built really gave me Winchester House vibes, not like whatever creepy movie is coming out right now, but like old school Winchester House stuff, that, you know, the lore, I guess you could say, of it. So that kind of was cool. There's a senator character who kind of, at least in Stevie's eyes, kind of is viewed as a current politician that we have right now. It's 2018, and I think you could probably figure that out. However, near the end, I'm just wondering if that's going to be turned on its head. So that kind of stuff, like I kind of roll my eyes a little bit, like, oh, like who's that supposed to be? Isn't it obvious? But then at the same time, like the way the story went, I think she might be turning all sorts of preconceived notions just like upside down in the future book or books. So this was really enjoyable. I guess I could say I'm a mystery fan now. I really like the Sherlock Holmes book, especially the first one. The third one's coming out at the end of this month, The Case for Jamie Watson, and I really like Jane Unlimited, and I didn't realize it was a thing, but I think it might be a thing for me. And I'm looking forward to exploring and checking out more by Maureen Johnson, but also more in the YA mystery genre. So this for me, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, rounded up from 4.5. The only reason I gave it 4.5 is because there were a couple editorial things, like someone left the room, but then on the next page, the person was answering a question, and I actually like, but the person left the room, they're not there to answer the question, and a missing open quote, like little things like that, which I know aren't big deals, but I just feel in a traditionally published book that, like, with so many editorial eyes, I feel things like that should be caught, or if there is an editorial thing, it should just be like something extremely, extremely minute. Having the wrong character say something, kind of not minute to me. The other thing that I didn't like was that it's a cliffhanger and I don't have the next book. But otherwise, this was a great read. So, Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. In the meanwhile, happy reading.